Good morning everybody, welcome back to Cilinix Crypto and welcome to this new video here on Dogecoin. We're going to do a full update. We'll talk about the technicals. I think the technical situation for Dogecoin seems quite clear. However, in the video I'll also try to talk a little bit more about potential buy areas for Dogecoin, and I think that's a little bit less clear, or at least a little bit more risky, especially given the fundamentals right now, of course. The fundamentals are quite tense since Friday, which also invalidated the breakout that Dogecoin had. Unfortunately, I mean, Dogecoin had a good chance to actually rally up higher, but obviously after the renewed tensions between the EU and the US in terms of trade, at least, has caused it to drop back down. And I think now on Friday I was a little bit too late. Friday I made a video about the breakout, but then the news came in just afterwards. And I didn't make a video about it yesterday either. But so far, if you take a look at the technicals here for Dogecoin, what we have is a drop back down into range with quite a lot of volume as well, by the way. Drop back down into range, not a strong reaction here from the POC, which means that, you know, getting a new breakout is unlikely, at least on the short term. Which these videos are very often focused on the short term, of course, even though we zoom out a little bit as well, and that's also what we'll do in this video. And now we're dropping down to the bottom of the range, which is right here around 21.5 and 21 cents, which is now also strengthened with the 30-day rolling VWAP and 200 EMA right here coming in. So generally, look, very strong support level coming in, all right? And technically, I would say it's most likely that that level is going to hold. The one thing, though, that I think you should be aware of is the fundamentals, right? I mean, if we see some major escalation over the next 24 hours, is this support level going to hold? Most likely not. All right, then, and for that we need to zoom out, then we might need to drop down. And this would still be, especially on the daily time frame, this would still be within the uptrend, right? So ultimately, do I think that Dogecoin is going to stay in an uptrend? Yes. However, we might need to test the edges. And you can see right here at 20 cents, you have the trend band on the daily time frame right here with the 0.618 fib and a fair value gap. So it seems to me that unless the news is very bearish, like if we see a massive escalation, I don't think 20 cents will even hold. But for now, it's going to be, in my opinion at least, it's going to be either 21.5, 21 cents, which is this level up here, right? So that's basically the range lows. Which now also has more confluences with the 200 EMA on the 4-hour time frame and the 30-day rolling VWAP. So generally, as it stands right now, what I would say is that we will hold that level, right? So that we'll hold there, find support, consolidate, and then eventually also get back up to the top of the range, where we left some imbalances. And in general, and I've said this before, and I just told you about a minute ago, I think the general trend for Dogecoin is still upwards, and I think the general trend is still bullish. However, short term, I think we'll push down into that level. And like I said, if we see some sort of escalation or no sign of de-escalation, we can drop down all the way into 20 cents. But how that would look like would basically be this, right? So that we have some deviation down here, and that we'll be able to reclaim this level right here around 21.5 cents after, before getting that move up to the top of the range, right? So, you know, finding support and getting back up to the top of the range, for me, is the most likely scenario. That's basically how you should see it. But depending on the market opening, which will be very volatile, by the way, we'll either just hold the normal support level we have right here at 21.5 cents, or we can spike down lower. And especially spiking down lower is something I think you need to be not only aware of, but also prepared for. All right, so keep that in mind. Know that that's a possibility, and certainly keep that in mind when setting stop losses for trades, etc. If you even want to do that, given these fundamentals. But that's what I think you need to know. Those are my thoughts for now. So if you do have any questions, let me know down in the comments. But for now, thank you for watching. Have a great Sunday, and bye.